And the conference room in San Jose is about to rejoin as a panelist. San Jose conference room, can you please turn on your camera? Thank you.
Are we good? Wonderful. Good evening, everyone. I would like to call the Cities Association of Canada County Legislative Action Committee meeting to order. Today is May 9th, 2024, and it's at 5:30 p.m. and we have quorum in the room. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming here. And let's start with roll call, shall we?
Ann Bidey. J.R. Fruin.
You're muted. Yeah, you're muted.
Oh, I can't.
Here.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Pete Daly.
Here.
Stanley Mock. Rob Moore.
Here.
Carmen Montano.
Here.
David Elahi.
Present.
Mark Turner.
Here.
Pat Showalter. Greer Stones.
Here.
Peter Ortiz.
Here.
Thank you. Kathy Watanabe. Here. Tina Wallier.
Here.
Alyssa Cisneros. Or Maurice Srinivasan. Okay. We have quorum, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Do we have anyone for oral communications on non-agendized items? Anyone in the room? Seeing none? Anyone online? Okay, wonderful. Let's get started with our agenda. The first thing on the agenda is consent to approve minutes from our last meeting. I think we had a technical glitch.
Yeah.
The minutes didn't get uploaded, so we will postpone that for next time. Do you need a motion for that, or we'll just skip it?
I think we just did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's move on to item number 2, which is an update on the League of Cities City Leaders Summit last month in Sacramento. And we have Cities Association President Lisa Fliger. I thought this would be a good opportunity for all of us to hear from her what happened in Sacramento.
Yeah, thank you, Tina. Happy to be here. I normally sit through the LAC meetings anyway, so this is easy. Can you hear me? Okay, good. So as Tina said, I'm president of the Cities Association, but I attend these Cal Cities conferences as a member of the Cal Cities board. So when I served on the Peninsula Division, which is the division for Cal Cities, San Mateo, San Francisco, and Santa Clara County, when you're president of the Peninsula Division board, you automatically get a seat on the Cal Cities board. If you're ever interested in the Cal Cities board, let me know. It's an amazing organization and you really get to influence legislation. So Cal Cities puts on the annual conference, but they also do the City Leaders Summit, which is an opportunity to learn, but also lobby and meet legislators. And a few of us were there, Carmen, Mark and I have stories about waiting to go in to celebrate Cities Week. That was fun. But Tina asked me just to cover from a Cal Cities board perspective, and Carmen, Mark, anybody else who was there, please chime in about your experience. But my focus is really on what we discussed as a Cal Cities board, because as a board with representatives from across the state, we take positions on your behalf on different bills, and then we advocate and lobby in the Capitol with our legislators. And so we discuss many bills during these meetings. And the 3 that I want to talk about, the first one is AB 2943, which is a Rivas bill. And it's a comprehensive serial retail theft bill, which would allow police officers to arrest shoplifters without witnessing the crime. It would also allow them to aggregate multiple thefts into a felony charge of grand theft. And this is a response, and we've all heard about it. We're seeing it in our communities to what we're seeing with retail theft. And so the board had what we like to call a spirited discussion, because you have to realize we have representatives from all across the state with different backgrounds, different political leanings. And so you really learn a lot, and there's a lot of lobbying that goes in the room. We ended up voting to support if amended. And the amendment really focused on, and I'm reading from the list, clarity on the police officer's authority to collect unsworn statements if they're not there. What does that really look like? How do they verify? And clarification around the successful completion of probation, because there's a probation element to it. And that wasn't clear in the bill. And so we also talked about that. But in the end, we voted to support it, and we proposed these different amendments. The other bill that we talked about was AB 1999, which is the Irwin bill related to the PUC, and also SB 252, and it relates to CalPERS, our state pension fund. But the crux of SB 252 was to push for divestment from fossil fuel. And I think we took an hour discussing this one because, of course, you have, advocates who are saying this will impact our bottom line, our budget, our finances, and people who rely on CalPERS. On the other hand, you have advocates saying that, we need to take a stand as California on environmental policy, and this is a way to do it. And we may be saying, the sky's falling, if we divest from fossil fuels, will we get the same returns? But we really should take the leadership role and do it. In the end, the board voted to oppose the bill, but directed staff to pursue a policy statement related to climate change. So the advocates who were saying do not divest from fossil fuels, they ended up winning the vote. But the advocates who pushed for more environmental policies also won because they were also able to give staff direction, or lobbyists, or Cal City's lobbyists, to push for stronger environmental policies related to fossil fuels. And then the last one I'll quickly go over, it's AB 2085, and this is Rebecca Cahan. And she's from the East Bay, and her bill seeks to increase access to reproductive health care by requiring cities to allow the construction of community clinics in areas zoned for office, retail, healthcare, or parking. And what she's really looking to do is to ensure that, because there are, I think they said 22 cities now in California that do not have a Planned Parenthood or a similar type clinic within miles of those cities. And so what Rebecca is attempting to do with AB 2085 is for those cities that the only reason why they don't have a reproductive health clinic or a Planned Parenthood or whatever it is, it's because they've zoned out these types of clinics. She wants this bill to preempt it. So the board adopted a support position for AB 2085. If amended, we made recommendations on changing the distancing requirements because, depending on how your city is laid out, your downtown, Pete and I can tell you, we have different business districts throughout Los Altos. We don't just have a downtown. And so, depending on how your city is laid out, you may say it, should not be more than 4 miles from the center of town. What is the center of town? So we wanted more flexibility in the distancing requirements. Also, the definition of community clinics. In her current draft of the bill, at least the version we saw a month ago, it was very vague. And so her intent was really for reproductive health, but it didn't say that. And there's a lot of concern in the room about community clinics being broadly defined to mean like other types of services that I think some council members from other cities would not have supported if we didn't push for this amendment. So as you experienced during LAC, there's a lot of give and take, right? To get the support in that room, we needed to basically agree to recommend a redefinition of community clinics so that it was clear we were really only talking about reproductive health. And I think I just showed where my vote was. I was trying not to. So that was the third bill. And the 3 bills that really we have, all the bills, like we go through quickly, some are on consent, but there's some that we really go into and learn about and have robust and spirited discussions. And those were the 3 I wanted to share with the LAC. Any questions? And I invite Mark and Carmen, anybody else who was there to share, their experience in Sacramento. You all went up to the hill. We went together, but then you went back and you met with Scott Wiener and others.
I did not,
You did
but
not.
right, but we did have a group discussion about some of the bills that we've been talking about. with some of the other elected officials, which actually was very helpful. Just getting different people's perspective on what we were all dealing with. So I thought that was worth the time and effort there.
Herman?
No, I'm just thinking that the fossil fuel ones, they didn't mention fracking, because that's really the real thrust of the problem, that the fracking doesn't have any, teeth, to it. And we don't want fracking, but yeah. So, and then the other one was the community clinics. It shouldn't, if it's just geared for women, it shouldn't say community, it should say women's health clinic or something.
Yes, so we made that recommendation to really redefine what community clinics means. That's how we got some votes to support it, because people were nervous about what community clinics referred to. Yeah.
Go ahead.
What was the discussion around 199?
I'll share
That's the PG&E.
Yes, in the interest of time, I have the latest from this morning.
Yes, and she's our electricity share of, yes.
If that's,
Yeah, of course.
okay,
So I jumped, yeah.
thank you, I figured.
Yes.
Because something.
As soon as I said CPUC.
This morning, I'll share.
When I said PUC, I saw what we did, I was like, I think you have an update.
I have an update from last night to
Yes.
this morning, that which surprised me. Okay,
Just, I'm trying to understand the Rivas bill regarding kind of retail theft. There's a lot we're gonna be discussing, several. How's that one differentiated from others? I mean, it seems like there's a lot of interest there, which is great.
So this is in response to, what is the proposition? Is it 47?
47.
47. And Rivas, Bonta, I don't think Gavin did the press conference, but a group of them basically came out and said they are opposed to the measure that's moving forward right now related to Prop 47, because they believe there are several bills going through Sacramento right now related to retail crime theft and other things that will address the issue. Because their argument is there's some good things with Prop 47, you don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater, so they're trying to identify where the real issues are. And so to your point, Mayor Stone, there are a lot of retail theft crime-related bills in Sacramento. What normally happens, and Tina can explain, by the time we get to August, a lot of this will be combined and merged and whittled down. People are going to negotiate, but you're right, and they're overlapping, right? Because everybody presents their own bill. And then they basically figure out, okay, let's just merge these two, and that will happen, but there are many bills right now going through.
Sure, thanks.
Well, we know one of the problems with that is that the original bill gets diluted. By the time it gets, everybody jumps in this bandwagon, and by the time they change it, then the original bill is lost.
That does happen. Thank you. Thanks, Tina, for allowing me to do this. Thank
I
you.
am really glad that you could make the time, because I thought this would be very beneficial to all of us to hear from you, especially since you represent us at Cal Cities. Okay, with public comment on this item?
No.
Okay, with that, let's move on to item number 3, and I think you're making good time, which is the real focus of the Legislative Action Committee. This is when we look at bills, we discuss them, and possibly take action on some of these bills. So I sent a list of bills, but if you will bear with me, I just want to quickly connect the dots where we were last time. At the LAC meeting last time, we discussed 4 bills, took a position on 3, SB 1164 watch, AB 2814 support, AB 1886 oppose unless amended, AB 1820 legislature, and the Cities Association vote that very night on April 11th ratified the exact same position of this committee. Some members we continue to that vote, some don't, so I wanted to make sure all of you heard that. Nisa and I sent position letters, so they have not yet been updated to our website. Our website is a little clunky, and Shally has been doing a great job, so they will get updated on the website. Going to follow the same process tonight. We'll discuss bills, take it to the board tonight, And most of the bills tonight, if you notice, are the ones that were in the packet last time as well. I've tried to update the summaries, that's why you got it yesterday, because there was some movement happening again. I tried to pull in, and I'm trying to speak fast so to cover some ground to give you an update as much as I have, though things are constantly changing. So a couple of things that I have been picking up regarding the legislature is that they are looking at the state's finances, as we already know. And therefore, at this moment, when the bills are in the fiscal committees, there is a lot of tweaks are happening, and as Mayor Montano said, some of the bills are also getting diluted through the process, but that's the nature of the process. At least we get to say something. Energy update, let's start there. There are multiple bills in the income graduated fixed charge, and it's a constantly actively developing space. There was a reason why I didn't bring those bills here earlier, because at SDCE, I'm in touch with Benna Chang, the Director of Legislative and Regulatory Affairs, and she was mentioning to me earlier to hold on. The good news is next month at our June LAC meeting, both SVCE CEO Monica Padilla and Benna Chang, the director, will be here to present, and then we can take a position on those bills, because they're even changing as we speak. Something changed on AB 1999 from last night, what she presented at SVCE meeting, to this morning, and that is a surprise to me. 3 bills that repeal income graduated fixed charge are dead now. They are SB 1312, AB 13. Sorry, I got the wrong number here. There are 3 bills. There are AB 2805. There are 2 bills from Newen. 2 bills from Newen, and I may have the number somewhere here. And 1 bill from Isayu that are dead. The SB 1292 from Bradford is in the Senate Appropriations Committee. AB 1326 from Jones, which is to revert back to the pre-AB 205 language, is also dead. And 1314, 1312 and 1314. 2 bills, in pretty much identical, which is to repeal the income graduated fixed charge. The latest on AB 1999 is that it has been amended and has started moving through the legislative process again. With 2 key points, that is the income graduated fixed charge can't rise higher than inflation between 2024 and 2028. And the second point is that in 2028, the CPUC would allow the IOUs to impose a fixed charge of no more than $10 and $5 for non-care customers. I can share more with you where they are, but really we are going to wait for the June meeting to take a position on both bills. Public safety, you asked a great question, Mayor Stone, and thank you, Nisa, for talking about AB 2943. I decided not to include that here because there has been a lot of discussion happening there, and so I didn't want us to take a position at this stage. The 2 clear things that I have picked up is that there is no bill which will revise Prop 47 or basically take it away. That the legislature has decided not to do at this point. However, there is a November ballot measure which has gathered 900,000 signatures, what they need, sufficient. This is from a group called Californians for Safer Communities, and it is backed by retailers like Walmart and Target. So we don't know what's going to happen there, but there are multiple bills in addition to what we supported last time that we have on our list tonight if we have the time on in the public safety space that we can take a look.
What bill was that? Californians for Safer Communities?
It's a ballot measure. It's not a bill. It's a November ballot measure.
That
Like,
would repeal Prop 47?
no, nothing is going to, that one probably, yes.
Okay.
I didn't have time, I'm sorry, to research it completely, but that came from Cal Cities yesterday.
Okay.
And I can forward you that, link.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Cal Cities.
You'll send that out to the whole group?
Okay, perfect.
You can send it to me and I'll forward it.
I'll do that. Housing focus, again, Cal Cities is reminding us that there are 2 bills that will impact the cities if signed into law. that it would make it easier for developers to utilize builder's remedy and to saddle some cities with hefty fines, even if they're acting in good faith. The first one is AB 1886 from Alvarez that we took a position on last time. The second one is in tonight's packet, SB 1037, 1037 from Wiener. This is the one I'm hoping that I may shuffle the order of the bills tonight, if that's important for the members to vote on that tonight. I can bring that up. And I think that's plenty for the quick high-level update tonight. There have been other requests, and there is a plan, and I can talk with you offline on some other bills down the months as we meet. And the focus is, if there is too much movement happening, this may not be the right time for us to vote on that. So there's a plan. I just wanted to reassure you. And some other requests I've been getting. Okay, with that, let's get started. The first bill, I just want to make sure there's no hand raised from. Okay. From Shally, if you see GR or Peter.
Sure.
SB 21 from Umberg. This is for controlled substances, and this would require a person who's convicted of crimes related to controlled substances to receive a written advisory of the danger of manufacturing or distribution of controlled substances, and that if a person dies because of that action, the distributor can be charged with voluntary manslaughter or murder. This has wide coalition of legal services organizations that are supporting it. I can name a few: the California District Attorneys Association, California Lawyers Association, Consumer Attorneys of California, then County of Riverside, and Superior Court of Los Angeles County, and so on and so forth. None opposition on file that I could find, and support is amended from Elder Law and Disability Rights Center, Public Law Center, and Community Legal Aid of Southern California. So any quick thoughts on this one?
I mean, it seems a straightforward bill. The only question I had is, would the admonishment be given in what languages? You know, the number of languages, the court uses certain languages. I don't know if that covers every language that needs to be covered. So it should be clarified that it should at least be given in whatever language the defendant might understand.
Okay. Other thoughts? That's a good point.
Yeah, and it's a total slam dunk. The only thing that's similar sort of on the maybe confusion front, if you read the admonishment, it's pretty confusing. I wish they would make it less wordy. The first sentence talks about counterfeit line 12 pills. I don't know what that means as a layperson. And then they go into like the penal code. So, you know, I hope that the people understand what they're being admonished for.
One question. I wonder if anybody knows this, and it was a little confusion of the chronology of kind of the consequences of the bill. So our staff report, I see you wrote that, the write-up on the bills.
I copied and pasted from, so if there are mistakes, I take ownership.
No, I just want to
Yeah.
give good, I thought it was really good.
Okay.
It said, this bill would require a person who is convicted of or who pleads guilty or no contest to the above described crimes as they relate to fentanyl to receive a written advisory of the danger of distribution of controlled substances, and that if a person dies as a result of that action, the distributor can be charged with homicide or murder. The bill requires that the fact the advisory was given be on the record and recorded on the abstract of conviction. So my question, does that mean that a person can only be convicted of voluntary manslaughter or murder after they've already been convicted of distributing fentanyl? And then in that conviction, they've been advised in writing of the dangers of distribution. And then after that conviction, they have to do it again, and a person has to die as a result of that later distribution.
Okay, who can help me? I do remember this one I took from the State Ledge website. So this information is correct. I updated it yesterday because they made some amendments from our last meeting's time. Who can help me? Any attorney here? Who can help me?
I mean, as a pretend attorney, I guess I can say I think your analysis is correct.
Okay.
Obviously, the first time somebody dies because this guy gave them a fentanyl this admonishment would not convict him. Other circumstances might. The second time, this may help in the conviction.
Yeah. I'm a recovering attorney myself, so that's my kind of, that's how I read it. I mean, I think it's better than nothing, but I think this is kind of more Sacramento politicians pretending to do something that shows that they're tough on crime, but actually not being tough on time. I mean, they already, these there is no, I don't ever remember a time in my life where there's been such a focus on the danger of an illicit drug than the attention fentanyl is getting right now. I mean, they all know the dangers of it, so we're gonna say, well, you gotta do it one time, and then we're going to give you this written admonishment that it was dangerous that you distributed. And then if you do it a second time, you're gonna get hit with these. I think they already have constructive notice the first time, so I wish they were being a little tougher on this and saying, hey, you distribute fentanyl, someone dies, here's the consequences, but I'm not in the legislature, so I support it because I think it's better than nothing, but I don't think it goes far enough.
Actually, you raise a good point. You don't want the defendant to say, well, this is my first time, I never got the admonishment, so you can't charge me with manslaughter or murder. So maybe that should be built in, that regardless of whether this admonishment is given or not, if the circumstances are there for the defendant to be charged, this is not going to prevent him. The failure to having received an admonishment shouldn't be a get out of the jail free card.
Yeah, yes, I wonder, does this actually make it now even harder for
Yeah.
prosecutors if did they have that option before? And does this now make it even more difficult? Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, I think it's too easy, because this is provides treatment in lieu of jail. So,
Yeah, it's a written advisory plus that I had discussed with someone earlier. That's what, they said, it's a good,
but it's better than nothing.
yeah, it's better than nothing.
I guess that was my question, is the substance, education treatment program in exchange for prison time if they agree to this written thing?
I think not the second time.
Not the second time.
That's how I read it. Again, I'm not an attorney, so.
Question two, it says the mandatory drug treatment, SB 21 requires those convicted of fentanyl-related offenses to complete a mandatory drug treatment and or court program. How many times?
I think after the first,
Or is there?
I read it as after the first time, once they have received the written advisory, the second time, they can be charged with the manslaughter. That's how I read it.
Okay, that would be good. Yeah, I agree. It's better than nothing, but sometimes it's nothing better than a compromise where we can go back and do something different. Because we might look at this and go, well, that's passed, so we've addressed that, so.
I think one of the most important aspects of the bill, which is in the final paragraph, is that if somebody who's convicted of distributing fentanyl completes the court-ordered education program, their guilty verdict can be set aside. It's actually a diversion program to take people out of the prison system that might otherwise be there. The wording, the way it's, the way it's worded is a little bit confusing, but of all of the actions that are mandated by this, that's the one that seems like the most significant to me, because it's not significant to give somebody a written admonishment that they could be charged for manslaughter if they kill somebody with their fentanyl.
Yeah,
I mean, it's.
But again, is a diversion program, again, if it's a diversion program, in other words, it's saying you're not going to face any sort of conviction, we're gonna put you in a diversion program.
Well, that's what this final paragraph says, that any defendant who successfully completes an education or treatment program is eligible for the relief described. To me, it seems like that's the most salient portion of this contemplated legislation.
Other thoughts? Anyone online?
No one on,
Vice Mayor Rowan?
Just as a, helpful piece of information in terms of where this sat in the legislature last, it passed out of the Senate on a 39-0 vote. That is incredibly uncommon. So you're looking at a really wide level of consensus.
Thank you for that. Does that mean you're suggesting we move forward without asking for amendments? We support it?
think that it feels like this is going to continue to move forward. It will get tinkered with, and I would suggest that we probably move on to another bill. With that, I'll offer a motion that we support SB 21.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, so we have a second, Councilmember Moore. Any other thoughts? Should we move on? I like that idea.
Santa Clara is not taking a position on it because it's not part of our city's public safety, legislative policy, so I'm out.
Okay. Okay, Shelley, can we have a vote, please?
Motion to support SB 21 by Rubin, second by Moore. I'll do it by city. Campbell. Cupertino.
Aye.
Los Altos.
Abstain.
Okay. Los Gatos.
Aye.
Milpitas.
Yes.
Montesrino.
Aye.
Morgan Hill.
Yes.
Palo Alto.
Yeah.
San Jose.
Aye.
Santa Clara. Abstain. Saratoga.
Aye.
With 9 ayes, motion passes. 9 ayes, 2 abstentions.
Thank you. Let's jump to hopefully another quick one. Is SB 1095 from Senator Becker. Reason I'm moving that up is he came and spoke with us last time, and this is one I'm pulling from the energy-related space. It had, however, been placed on the suspense file, even though it's in the Senate Appropriation Committee. This is the one that prohibits mobile home parks and homeowner associations from instituting barriers to electric appliances. Essentially pretty straightforward, concept-wise at least, that let's make it easier for people in situations where the homeowner association or the mobile home parks rules forbid people from switching from gas to electric. It has been sponsored by the Bay Area Air Quality Management District and is supported by US Green Building Council and a coalition of environmental and affordable housing organizations. And there's a long list, including Palo Alto Carbon Free and bunch of other lists, San Francisco Bay Area Planning and Urban Research Association, and so on and so forth, San Francisco Bay Physicians for Social Responsibility, Sierra Club, et cetera. Quick thoughts, so that we can move forward to some public safety as well as the housing build, right? So quick thoughts.
Where's the league on this?
Mayor Turner,
They said watch, initially, right?
did they say watch? Did I put,
This one only has a summary.
yeah, then they haven't taken a position. Thank you, Shelley, for quickly
I've
checking.
got it. Yeah, I think, I did a little extra research. I think in the last meeting, going into last meeting, their position was to watch the.
Yeah, they still have, I double checked everything last night.
Okay, so they've not changed their position.
Not that I have seen.
Okay,
No.
okay.
Santa Clara is going to support it, based on our sustainability and environmental protection legislative action that, the city supports legislation that provides residents with incentives for undertaking decarbonization activities. So we will support.
Okay, other thoughts? Okay, anyone else? Is there anything that you find in the bill not quite?
Which here doesn't have any mobile home parks, but we'll support it.
Same in my city. I think it's one of those positive things that Senator Becker is trying to do. And even the name itself, it just says the Cozy Homes Cleanup Act. It's one of those feel good bills. Any thoughts online? I don't see a hand. Do I have a motion to support? Oh, Councilmember Ortiz.
City of San Jose supports it. I motion to support SB 1095.
Okay. One second, second.
I'm sorry, who's second? Montano?
Mayor Montani. Okay. Do we have a vote, please?
Motion to support SB 1095 by Ortiz, second by Montano.
Campbell? Okay. Okay, Cupertino,
Aye.
Los Altos? Los Gatos?
Aye.
Milpitas? Montestorino?
Aye.
Morgan Hill?
Yes.
Palo Alto?
Yes.
San Jose?
Aye.
Santa Clara?
Yes.
Saratoga?
Yes.
Motion passes with 10 yeses and 1 abstention.
Okay, let's move on to SB 1037 from Senator Wiener. This is a planning and zoning bill for the housing element enforcement. It has been sponsored by the Attorney General, Rob Bonta, and is supported by various housing advocacy organizations and DMD organizations. The bill is also opposed by various associations representing the cities and advocating for local control. The hearing is set for May 13th. That's the reason I'm moving this up. And the League of California Cities is opposing it, as well as California Contract Cities Association and a couple of other things. But as I said, sponsored by the Attorney General. So the questions that I picked up from the Cal Cities position or discussion, I should say, what they are presenting it as 2 key questions, that this would allow the state AG to ask a court to fine a city that fails to adopt a compliant housing element or violates the state laws that require ministerial approval of certain housing projects. And the fine could be as much as $50,000 per month. And is that a fair thing? That's essentially why I pulled this up at a higher level. And is this appropriate? Is this the right thing? Because unlike existing laws, SB 1037 will not give the cities time to correct their actions before penalizing cities. And even cities acting in good faith would need to pay the AG for all the investigating and prosecuting costs. That was kind of the concern expressed that I was able to see. I'm going to pause for a second. Mayor Klein, would you like to join the meeting? Because
I can join things. Give me a moment. I didn't know that it hadn't shown,
okay.
so.
Okay.
I will be there.
I will need some help here. What process do we need for him to join the meeting? We don't need anything, right? Okay.
I'll just make a note that he's joining at 6.
Okay, great. So, any thoughts? Anyone wants to kick off the discussion on this difficult bill,
Yeah,
SB
okay,
1037?
right now, it's, taking away our local control again, Sacramento, so I'm really against this bill.
Okay. Very simple. Councilmember Yahi, I'm sorry, it's a mouthful to, so I apologize. Please go ahead.
I was just saying there's a ruling in Southern California by the court that the CD has no jurisdiction, can't regulate the charter cities, and there's five charter cities that have filed a lawsuit. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
SB 9.
No, that's SB 9.
Yeah.
And basically the whole question of which control can the state exercise. I think we've always opposed state exercise over local control. I think cities are best suited to decide what kind of zoning they want to do. This is like putting more power within the state to force the cities to do what the state wants. And the cities are already doing what the state wants. And by the way, Montessorino's housing element got approved last week, so. Not the kind of housing element we have wanted, but something got approved. So, I mean, Montessorino knows this. I think it's giving too much power to the state as it is. Might as well do away with the cities and have no cities and no counties, and just have individuals living in their own homes. Might be the way to go.
The Palo Alto will oppose for all the same reasons stated. I don't even know, and I've asked staff this question so many times, how much money we've already spent on trying to get our housing element certified. We just submitted our 3rd letter. The state keeps moving the goalposts, and so I think until they can clearly define exactly what it is that they're looking for from every city and treat every city fairly and actually provide funding to be able to address the infrastructure needs and other services and help us pay for the affordable housing component. I think this is just such an unfair process, and now to say that they're gonna penalize us for missing some of these deadlines, or it's more vague, big brother, actions by the state, so we're definitely strongly opposed to this.
Okay, and we did add the letter from Cal Cities in the packet. Okay, online, I don't know if it's Councilmember Ortiz or Vice Mayor or
Yeah,
both.
Councilmember Ortiz here. The official position of the city is no alignment, so we're neither supportive or against it. I believe that we need to have some accountability for our smaller surrounding cities. Right now, the city of San Jose is bearing the brunt of housing production here in Santa Clara County. And, you know, I don't know if this is the bill to do it, but I don't think we should be dismissive because then, you know, our smaller cities around the city of San Jose won't be doing their fair job on building housing production. So I just want to, you know, challenge this group to think outside the box and make sure that all of our municipalities are doing their fair share. Thank you.
I move to oppose.
Second.
So we have Mayor Turner move to oppose and Mayor Stone second. Any other quick thoughts?
If you could, I did have a thought, actually.
Oh, go ahead, Vice Mayor. Sorry, I wasn't sure if that hand was, we need to have two virtual hands raised.
So just a few things to pick up on something that Mayor Stone mentioned a moment ago, you know, the sort of the question of what is the larger picture here in terms of what the state would be holding us accountable for. And it was only a couple of days ago that Assemblymember Ward, together with HCD and the governor, put out a statement in connection with a bill authored by Assemblymember Ward, AB 3093, that would significantly reform the regional housing needs determination process and everything that is associated with the housing element. And what I think might actually be productive here is if we were to instead issue a letter of concerns asking Senator Wiener to incorporate this issue and this discussion together with Assemblymember Ward's bill. That way, rather than having this standalone item that is discussed by itself in a vacuum, it can be incorporated into that discussion more fully. My impression is that, you know, people will expect cities to, generally speaking, oppose things that are going to potentially penalize them. So I don't know that we gain a whole lot by saying that we oppose it. I think that's going to be expected. But I think that if we want to influence where the legislation goes, that if we say something to the effect of, you know, maybe you should consider shelving this piece of legislation and incorporating this discussion into what Assemblymember Ward is doing instead, that would be more productive.
Thank you. Mayor Stone?
I just think I'd like to see the state correct the process. I'm glad to hear I wasn't aware of that bill, but I'm glad to hear that the state is attempting to correct. I'd rather see the state correct the process and then come back to us and say, how are we going to actually be partners with cities in getting this housing bill rather than this top-down approach and sticks over carrots that they've really been doing for the last several years. So I hear you. I've lost trust in the process, and I want to see them actually move forward with actual reform. So I'm prepared to just oppose if Mayor Turner wants to stick with the motion.
I want to stick with the motion, yes.
Okay, other thoughts? Do we keep that bill separate, the one that Vice Mayor Fruin just mentioned?
Is there a way, even though we might move to oppose, or we might actually vote on opposing this, we could still do what he's recommending and sending a letter along anyway? That could be a separate action, but I feel strongly that we oppose the bill.
Okay, we could do that. So, no other thoughts? Let's have a vote, please. So the motion is to oppose this bill, and I'm assuming with that, the language that you would want us for now, just to oppose the bill, is similar to what Cal City's letter says.
Yeah, I think so, like that. Yeah,
Okay, those ones are not.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think, so, sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't know, our representative wasn't going to be here today, so I'm catching up on the bill, the bills that you're talking about tonight. As far as this bill is concerned, you know, I do think it's a little presumptive to start fining when we haven't reviewed the process. And so having the state go through the fining of cities from that standpoint. So I think, you know, having what the Cal Cities is saying, their letter, I think makes total sense. I do think adding from the language, I think something good to talk more about that process and kind of focusing on some of what our cities have felt. And before we allow the state to start, let's say, imposing fines, it's trying to reevaluate not just the RENA process, but I think the review of housing elements. So I think that's the bigger issue. So I do think that I appreciate the discussion, and you know, even though we have our housing element approved, it wasn't an easy process, and you know, there were a lot at the vagaries of who happened to be reviewing the housing element at the state level seemed to affect the set of comments that we received each time it went for review. So I do think that, you know, opposing at this point makes sense.
Okay, thank you. Do I hear suggestions for including, words, language along the lines of prior to imposing or considering imposing fines, we would rather that the, state look at reviewing the housing element and the RENA process. Is that what I'm hearing?
But they are doing that. I think that's what Jerry's saying.
They are doing that.
Okay,
But-
so we don't,
I think we just simply stay with opposing.
okay,
Let's just stay, yeah.
okay, great.
Should I take the vote? Motion to oppose SB 1037 by Turner, second by Stone. Campbell.
Aye.
Cupertino.
Aye.
Los Altos.
No.
Los Gatos.
Aye.
Milpitas.
Yes, to oppose.
Sorry, I had to think about that. Monte Sereno.
Aye.
Morgan Hill.
Yes.
Palo Alto.
Yes.
San Jose.
No.
Santa Clara. Yes. Saratoga.
Yes.
Sunnyvale.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Now, let's look at a bunch of public safety bills. I think it's best to go through them one at a time, so let's start with AB 1779. That's the urban bill, which got amended after the third reading, after the third time on the 25th of April. This is the one that permits the consolidation of specified theft charges as well as all associated offenses occurring in different counties into a single trial if the district attorneys in all involved jurisdictions agree. So again, most of these bills are to resolve issues that were created by Prop 47, and they are handling them piecemeal, and there is also overlap in a lot of cases. When I say cases, I mean these bills. So essentially, it's removing the requirement that theft crimes be jurisdictionally limited to prosecutorial actions brought by the AG. It has been opposed by Communities United for Restorative Youth Justice, Ella Baker Center for Human Rights, Justice, and a couple of other organizations, Justice Action LA. It has been supported by California Correctional Supervisors Organization, California District Attorneys Association, California State Sheriff's Association, Chief Probation Officers of California, City of Santa Clarita, League of California Cities has written a letter, Peace Officers Research Association of California, San Diego County, and a couple others, then Ventura County Office of the DA. So, any thoughts on this one? AB 1779. Who wants to start that?
Santa Clara supports.
Okay,
Yes, we support this bill. No, Peters.
okay, Peter supports. Other thoughts?
Has the district attorney come out with a position on these?
I
Jeff Rosen?
don't think so.
He worked with Assemblymember Lowe on a very similar bill that would aggregate the total value of items stolen and allow prosecutor from any of the jurisdictions impacted by any of the individual thefts to bring the charges. So really similar wording that Jeff Rosen supported. Different bill, I don't remember the.
So is there a possibility then that this bill will merge with that one and it will become?
There are like 4 or 5 bills here which may ultimately merge, and I could keep up with only some of those. And
It's very confusing. It's somewhat similar, but very confusing.
yes, I agree, and thank you for saying that. I believe ultimately one path forward may be the one that Nisa mentioned earlier, which was, I'm trying to find the number, AB 2943. That is one of the more comprehensive ones. The others had some overlap. And that's a Reba stuff. Yes, exactly. And that came out later on. Some of these other bills that we are talking of started earlier. They have some overlap in some cases, but not necessarily. And there have been a bunch of bills. That's what I know. If somebody else knows more, please share.
I think we'll end up supporting each one of those bills, and then they'll merge, and then we can look at them again.
Okay, so for now, does it make sense for us to express what is helpful for our cities, which is to support these bills?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone, any thoughts online? Yeah, do I have a motion?
Yeah, I'll.
Wait, there's a thought online.
Please go ahead, council member or vice mayor.
And sure, I assume you're gonna do public comment at the end.
Yeah, the city of San Jose supports this bill. Our city unfortunately has been plagued by a lot of these organized theft rings and serial petty theft. It's mostly impacting our mom and pop small businesses, especially our immigrant-owned small businesses. So we support it, and I'm in support of it as well.
Okay, wonderful.
So I'll move to support it, and the small city of Montecito supports San Jose's effort to curb crime.
That's called working together as a larger family. Okay, Mayor Turner seconds that. Let's have a vote.
Okay, motion to support AB 1779 by Elahi, second by Turner. Campbell. Cupertino.
Aye.
Los Altos. Los Gatos.
Aye.
Milpitas.
Aye.
Montesrino. Montesrino.
Aye.
Morgan Hill.
Yes.
Palo Alto.
Yes.
San Jose.
Aye.
Santa Clara.
Yes.
Saratoga.
Yes.
Sunnyvale.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, again, next very similar one, AB 1794 by McCarty. Please excuse me, I considered putting all of them together, but I know some cities may support one of these and not the other, so I figured the process is a little clunky, but it may be best to go through it one bill at a time, even though there is an overlap. So AB 1794, this would allow prosecutors to aggregate multiple thefts with several victims. This is slightly different than the jurisdiction part that we just talked about. And this has been referred to the suspense file, but we'll find out in the next couple of weeks where it goes from there. The opposition is by California Public Defenders Association, Pacific Juvenile Defender, Center and Vera Institute of Justice. Whereas a very long list of support, all including Cal Cities. I'll quickly zip through some of these names. Surprisingly, most of them, when I'm eyeing them, they look like Southern California for some reason. Arcadia Police Officers Association, Burbank Police Officers Association, California Coalition of School Safety Professionals, California Narcotics Officers Association, California Police Chiefs Association, California Reserve Police Officers Association, California Retailers Association, goes on and on. Fullerton, Monterey County, Newport Beach, Novato, Palos Verdes, Riverside, Santa Ana, Los Angeles. It's a long list. In support. Yeah, all of these are in support. So this is essentially to address the issue of multiple thefts by one intention or a general impulse or something like that.
Morgan Hill will support that.
Morgan Hill will support it. Okay, other thoughts?
So Peters, we support it, because there's a lot of organized crime happening, and you know, you've got like 10 people going into the store and grabbing things. It's getting out of hand. There needs to be accountability.
I would generally support it. I'm just concerned about whether there should be a minimum. I mean, do you add up loaves of bread? I mean, if a person goes in and steals 20 loaves of bread and they add up to, I guess they won't add up to $9.50, but depending on how much food or groceries somebody's stealing.
We're not seeing though, people running into a store and stealing the buns.
Yeah, so we're not seeing that, but the number is $9.50, so it doesn't take that much to get to $9.50.
Right.
So I would suggest putting some kind of a minimum before you start adding all those up. That's my thought anyway.
It says here the bill would authorize counties to operate a program to allow retailers to submit details of alleged shoplifting, organized retail theft, or grand theft directly to the county district attorney.
Should be lower than 50, that's for sure.
All right.
Putting a number on the individual thefts defeats the purpose of the bill.
I'm not for putting a number on it, I'm just saying, if we're gonna adjust that number, I think it should be much lower than 950.
Yeah, I don't think we should do anything to the number, and, you know, thefts add up. The problem is these criminals are actually outthinking the system and gaming the system. So they know what the threshold is, and they'll go and steal $949 worth of crap from one retailer and $949 from the next, thinking that they're not gonna be subject to that threshold.
Right. Yeah.
So even if they do steal relatively low dollar items, I say add them all up.
Yes.
Well, that's what this does. It's aggregating.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly. I'll move to approve.
Second.
Sorry. Motion to support by Turner, sorry, and I'm sorry, who seconded? Was it Montano?
Any comments online? Maybe a vote.
Motion to support AB 1794 by Turner, second by Montano. Campbell. Cupertino.
Aye.
Los Altos.
Aye.
Los Gatos.
Aye.
Milpitas.
Aye.
Montesrino.
Aye.
Morgan Hill.
Yes.
Palo Alto.
Yes.
San Jose.
Aye.
Santa Clara. Yes. Saratoga.
Yes.
Sunnyvale.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Two more in this space, AB 1772 by Reynolds. And that one is also related to theft crimes. The bill states that if the value of the property taken exceeds $950 over the course of distinct but related acts, the thefts may properly be aggregated to charge the defendant with grand theft. So again, same space, minor differences. And what's the general opinion?
So I just jump over.
1772. I know I'm moving around. I'm looking at the time to see as many we can get done. That's why I'm jumping back and
No
forth.
problem. That's where this, it seems all same theme.
Same thing, yes, yeah, exactly.
Well, my city supports it.
Cal City supports it. I could not find other details on this as to who is supporting or opposing this. Cal City sent a letter earlier, then after its amendment, Cal City sent a separate letter specifically for this. That's why I included it in today's list versus last month's.
I'll move to approve.
Okay.
I just had a question. I may have copied it down wrong, but is this the bill that asks the governor to report something to the legislature, or does it have some teeth in it?
Yeah.
It's just a reporting bill.
No, it does more than that. It also, and so whenever Cal Cities takes a position, it's actually the board that's voting on it, so we discussed it. And there may be, I know there are discussions happening. In addition to the report to the legislature from the AG, there's also an element to it about what do they mean by related acts, like distinct but related acts, like, because that could be a slippery slope, how you define what constitutes a related act. So I know they're fleshing out that part of it. So there's more pieces to this bill than just the report that would go to the legislature. It's also aggregating, if it exceeds 950, aggregating distinct but related acts. I remember we discussed it. What does that mean? Like, if you steal, if you're selling drugs, but then you go to a shopping center and you steal, are those related acts? Like, how do you define related acts? So hopefully they'll clarify that in the bill. But we definitely support, the Cal City supports it, but then, and you can do this as well, even when you do letters of support, in your letters of support or opposition, you can still make suggestions to improve or amend your.
I saw a motion and a second. Would you suggest adding something else? Because I'm rereading Cal City's letter. And that's pretty much what I am planning to move forward with when we send the position letters. But the Cities Association president is right here. She's going to be signing the letter with me. So
I just know Cal City is doing things in the background, working on other things related to this bill.
So the bill, as I'm reading it, says that the report goes on January 1, 2026.
Yeah.
Is there then a subsequent annual reporting on the thefts, or is it just a one-time reporting?
I don't know.
This summary makes it look like the initial report is based on the number of thefts that occurred during the state of emergency,
Right.
so it doesn't seem like, from that, it doesn't seem like it would be an annual report.
But it could, right, I could see pushing to get an annual report or biannual
Well,
report.
it would be interesting to see if there was a decline or increase, and how this legislation will affect that.
are you suggesting that?
No, I just was curious,
Okay, I had the same
to know
thought.
whether or not it's, because sometimes these bills, it adds an annual, some type of a commitment annually to do something. So I was just curious.
Perhaps, just like we do in our cities, if this works, by 2026, there may be yet another bill which they want to make this permanent, not just for the emergency. And that's one way, I know, that's how we handle some things in our city. Maybe that's what the legislature will do. I don't know.
I think the text that's there right now doesn't seem to need anything. I mean, it's reporting whatever happened during COVID-19 emergency. Hopefully that's already been reported. COVID's gone. Then it's providing more information. So I'm not sure what the need is, but if somebody has a need for it, they have a need for it.
I was personally lost, that's why I didn't bring it up last meeting, but when I saw Cal City's taking a position and some other, I figured it's worth having a discussion, and we don't have to take a position on everything that I'm presenting here.
What did Cassidy's?
They support it. Yeah, they're generally supporting most of these bills. One way to look at it is we look very carefully at each bill. The other is a general approach. We are sending a message to the state. We're not just making noise about the housing stuff. We actually support the good stuff that you are doing for our cities that impact, because crime is impacting all the cities here. And we want to support even these little bills which have a heavy overlap. That was one of my thoughts, to bring maybe a bunch of them here today. That's an indirect message as well. Councilmember Moore.
Did you get a sense about, is the author going to define related crimes? Because I feel like that is.
So that was one of the things discussed, so I know that will be communicated to staff. And we'll see, but it needs to be defined.
Yeah. Yeah, I would support this as long, and maybe we put in our letter, you know, clarification about that they can't be, you know, like what you described. Yeah.
And I'll just make a, so I had mentioned Prop 47, and it's going forward, it has the signatures for November. But we do not know if it will pass, if it will actually go forward. Anything can happen over the summer. So that's another reason why you're seeing such strong support for these bills, because we don't know what's gonna happen with Prop 47, and we wanna make sure that we're putting things in place and laws in place that address the real issues that we're concerned about. So it's good to support these bills to the extent we can, and identify areas to improve them. Because we have no idea what's gonna happen with Prop 47.
That's great. So are we ready to move? There's one more Berman bill on this, in the same space, and then an open meetings bill if we get through today.
This feels more like a holding bill than anything else.
Or we can just, not vote.
Is one that I would really hope to get to, because it's been
Okay.
a topic for us.
Okay, do we want to just watch on this, though we do have a motion and a second? Do we want to vote on it, or
For me, we should vote on it so we can send a message.
let's have a vote?
Motion to support AB 1772 by Turner, second by Watanabe. Campbell.
Aye.
Cupertino.
Aye. Okay.
Los Altos.
Aye.
Los Gatos.
Aye.
Milpitas.
Aye.
Montesrino.
Aye.
Morgan Hill.
Yes.
Palo Alto.
Yes.
San Jose now.
Aye.
Santa Clara. Yes. Saratoga.
Yes.
Sunnyvale.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Sure, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a suggestion, and I know we'll sign the final letter. If there's any city here that actually has statistics to say in my city, commercial burglary, Palo Alto, Morgan Hill, commercial burglary has gone up over the last couple of years, that's good data for us to include in our letter. Because this is a statewide, assessment. If we have specific numbers to show how it's impacting our cities, we should include in our letter.
Which level of crime are we talking, which way?
Commercial burglary, retail theft.
Who do we send it to?
To Sean, because when we draft the letter, so we can be very specific over the last 2 years. Oh.
Because last time Nita and I were working with some crazy schedules. If, Monday end of the day, I would request.
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. I can hold off on this one, but there are a bunch of bills, and maybe we could add that to all of them.
We need that data.
So I'll frame the letters and work with Nisa over the weekend. Because what we learned last time is between her schedule and my schedule, we were literally not able to connect till like midnight or some strange hours. Seriously, yes. She was in Sacramento, I was doing Cal CC conference, and it was, maybe next week will be better.
And I will tell you, so we always copy our local representatives on our letters, and they will quote us. So Becker, Berman, they love to, if we have specific Santa Clara County, they'll send Palo Alto and Morgan Hill. This is what they're seeing.
So I think that's good, because it sends a message, strong message.
Yeah. So Monday, Tuesday, whatever works, the earlier the better, and.
Sunnyvale. I forgot your city, Larry. Another big one.
I'm trying to find out if I can.
Okay, that'd be great. Okay, two more bills. One is a Berman bill, AB 3209. I think we can do both. if we go through this very quickly and then get to the open meetings bill. So the Berman bill is on crimes against retail theft restraining orders. This has been opposed by the Vera Institute of Justice, San Francisco Public Defender's Office, and this has been supported by the Cal Chamber, California Retailers Association, League of California Cities, California AG's Office, California Business Properties Association, California Groceries Association, California Retailers Association. And because it's one of our local assembly members, I figured it was worth us taking a quick stab at it. He already came and presented and spoke with us here. So AB 3209 is the one that you're looking at. Morgan Hill will support. Other thoughts?
Yeah.
Morgan Hill will support AB 3209. Other thoughts?
Yeah, we'll support it.
Palo Alto will support it.
Clara is actually going to just watch, because, staff would like additional time to review and analyze the bill. Okay.
Campbell will support, okay? Any other issues with this bill? Any issues with this bill or any opinions? Oh, online. Council member.
Yeah, just real quick, the city of San Jose supports, we're dealing with a lot of harassment of small businesses, especially in my district, so we support it.
Okay. Wonderful. We support it, Peters. Okay, so Peters will support it. If no other thoughts, do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Okay, do I have a second? Okay. Moved by Turner, second by Moore, and can we have a vote, please?
Motion to support AB 3209 by Turner, second by Moore. Campbell. Aye. Cupertino.
Aye.
Los Altos.
Aye.
Los Gatos.
Aye.
Milpitas. Aye. Montessorino.
Aye.
Morgan Hill.
Yes.
Palo Alto.
Yes.
San Jose.
Aye. Aye.
Santa Clara. Abstain. Saratoga.
Aye.
Sunnyvale.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, the last bill we are going to look at tonight is AB 817 by Pacheco. It's on open meetings, teleconferencing for subsidiary bodies. This measure would remove barriers to entry for appointed and elected office by allowing non-decision-making legislative bodies to participate in two-way virtual teleconferencing without posting their location. I believe this is the one that started last year. I haven't seen too much activity, but this generally seems to get a lot of support, very widespread support, including Cal Cities, AARP, City of Mountain View, BACMET, and quite a few cities and counties in Southern California. So why don't we start some comments from Vice Mayor Daley from Los Altos?
I think we all want to have more participation by residents in government, and when we're talking about commissions that are not making, decisions, not voting on things, I don't see any reason why those commissioners couldn't participate by Zoom. Most of our residents and most of our commissioners have indicated a very strong preference to be able to do this, and as a body, our council has not been able to allow it simply because of state law, but we have had a desire to do it just like that. We've even asked our city attorney, is there a way we can get around it? So we're inclined to support this.
Other thoughts? So,
And I think one thing that's good about this bill is that it gives the option, it's not a mandate, right? It's cities get to opt in to doing this, and I think it makes sense. I think for Los Gatos, we have certain commissions and certain commissioners where it makes a lot of sense, others where it doesn't. And I think it'd be a good option to provide for folks. We've had to turn away folks who are super, super qualified because they're so busy traveling around the world, right? And those are people that, you know, are members of our community that we want to serve and, you know, give back, and I think this would help empower them.
Yeah, so, yeah, this is good. I like the word, I like the operative word option, gives the cities the option. But we've had Zoom bombings, so we've, you know, we have made a mandate that they need to come in because of the Zoom bombings. And I don't, and is this going to, are we still gonna have, if we still have that option, I think it's, we'll support it. Right? To, you know, to not to have these Zoom,
That is going to be then up to, yeah, it's going to be up to the city, how do you support?
If it's optional, we're supporting it.
It only talks about the body, it doesn't talk
Right.
about public comment.
Right.
I didn't see any mention of public
Yeah, so it
comment.
doesn't necessarily require remote public comment. It allows for commissioners to participate remotely.
Although from that standpoint, I personally have an idea, the concept that if you're allowing commissioners to have public comment remotely and to attend meetings, I think the public should have that same ability. And I understand that there's issues of Zoom bombing and all that. That being said, you're allowing, basically, you're allowing the board to say, well, we're privileged and we can be wherever we want, but the public, you have to be in the room. And I could see that there would be conceivable commissioners that would take advantage of this and rarely come into meetings, depending upon whether or not it's a threshold-based item or not. At that point, and it's, you know, I'm not writing the bills, but I do think that if cities are allowing commissioners to be pretty much completely remote, and as long as there's a quorum in the room, and there's some quorum language here also, but there's in my mind, there should be an expectation that the public has that ability also. That's my personal take.
Well, I know right now the law does require if any participant of a meeting is virtual, you do have to allow then virtual comments. And I don't know if this changes that at all, but the fact that it's optional, I mean, I think we should still support, I know Palo Alto, we support additional flexibility on this. It addresses a lot of, one thing I didn't see an argument for is just, climate change issues. I mean, we're having people jump into the car to go to do something that they're able to do at home. I don't really see why we would oppose this, but I think it's a good point about, and I didn't see any language that changes whatever the other law is, which I can't remember, that requires that. So I think if a commissioner does choose to use this, then it will have to be, Zoom comments will have to be allowed.
From the same location as
I think for many, under current state law, if any member is virtual, you have to then allow the public to also be able to participate virtually through virtual comments.
Yes.
So.
Do you have any idea what law that is? Because this is new to me.
attorney just walked in.
It's the Brown Act.
Yeah, I'm familiar with
So
that. I'm familiar with the provision of the act that specifies that if there's somebody who is remote at a meeting, that the public must also have the ability to comment remotely.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of
Because
that.
we have a rule, we have, at least for a 6-month period, we have eliminated Zoom comments for our meetings out of fear of the Zoom bombing. We're gonna take it back up and reconsider it. But we have had meetings where people have participated remotely and we still have not allowed Zoom comments from the public.
Oh, Pete, we actually haven't had where council members have participated remotely. I think that's what Clara is saying. If a member of the body, and Jenny, let us know, if a member of the body is participating virtually, then we have to allow for virtual public comment. Is there such a law?
I think Lynette's the only one, who's participated in the meeting remotely, and we may not have had
Before.
yes, I think.
Jenny, there's a strong.
So if the council member is participating due to just cause or an emergency, then it has to be the kind of meeting where they can participate, the public can participate remotely. If it's your typical teleconference rules, there's no requirement that actually be a Zoom meeting.
So you're talking about an agendized separate location,
Yes.
like San Jose is doing today.
Right,
Just to give you the context.
which is your traditional teleconference.
Correct. Just to give you the context, we are looking at Bill 817 for open meetings to have teleconferencing ability for members of the body. And one of the questions that came up was, even though it's an option if the bill becomes law, does a city have the right to stop public comments taken in a virtual or teleconferencing manner? And the question,
Legislation.
and the question was, what is the current law? So just so you know, we're not looking at the situation here, but we want to understand what
So,
the current law.
so you have your traditional teleconference rules that we had even before COVID.
Brown Act.
And then you have your, as an alternative, if there's a just cause or an emergency, you can have a teleconference, that's an alternative teleconference, provided that you conduct the meeting virtually so that the members of the public can participate.
Does that help? Do we want to take a position? Do we want to add language? Or the fact, as was pointed out earlier by Councilmember Moore, that it's an option available to the city if it becomes law? And so is it important for us to even comment on that or not? You have more thoughts?
No, I'll move to support.
Okay.
Second.
Any thoughts online? Any comments? I just call you online. I know you're virtual. San Jose, Cupertino? No thoughts? Okay, let's have a vote.
Motion to support AB 817 by Moore, second by Stone. Campbell. Cupertino.
Aye.
Soltis.
Yes.
Losgatos.
Aye.
Milpitas. Montestorino.
Aye.
Morgan Hill.
Yes.
Palo Alto.
Yes.
San Jose.
Aye.
Santa Clara. Yes. Saratoga.
Yes.
Sunnyvale.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, that brings us to most of the bills that I had sent a list earlier. I think so. Did we do 1794 or in any case, we are out of time? Yeah, okay. With that, I would like to adjourn the meeting. Thank you all so much for going through all these bills. See you in a month. Next time the focus is energy.
Okay, keep this here so everybody please.
Are we recording?
I,